Welcome to Focused on Forward. The purpose of this podcast is to focus on recovery from life situations, be it a disease, chronic or acute, perhaps the loss of someone so dear to you in death, or a change of life patterns that has affected you so profoundly that you have no choice but to find your new normal and become focused on moving forward. Each episode is designed to show the positivity that people bring to each and every one of their stories, the successes they've had, ways that they have become so definitively focused on moving forward. We look forward to sharing their stories, and we hope that they inspire you just as much as they have inspired us. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Focused on Forward. Today we're going to talk with Kristi Stewart. Kristi is going to talk about herself and her son Hunter and the situations in life that they have dealt with and really how they've been able to focus on moving forward, even though the situations they deal with to some may seem daunting. She's got a very encouraging story to tell. So we're very happy to have you here today, Kristi. Thank you for being a guest, and we look forward to your story. So whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, so Hunter is 12 years old. He was born with hydrocephaly, which is water on the brain. And because of that, that caused what is called dandy walker. So it's where his two hemispheres, the corpus callosum between the two, is not fully developed. So they found it when I was pregnant with him. And when he was a day old, they went in and they did brain surgery to release the fluid off his brain and put in a shunt that controls how the fluid runs from his brain into his abdomen. And so for a long time, we were getting that checked about weekly and then monthly. And then it kind of went to every 6 months to now we are up to the point where he gets an MRI every 3 years to check the shunt, check his fluid and everything, unless we find something is going wrong. So we've been, in that way, we've been pretty fortunate because he has never had to have a shunt revision or go in for another brain surgery. And so that we are very thankful for. And he's been doing good that way. But with that, he does not walk independently. He has learned to walk with a walker or with assistance, but it's very short distances. It's not long, drawn out distances. So for long distances, we use his wheelchair. He does not speak independently. We have finally found, after many years of trying to find a way for him to communicate, we have found this awesome app that's a communication app on an iPad that works very well, and he has gotten very good at it. And now that he has gotten used to it, he wants to use his own words. And so and I'd say probably the last 6 months, he has been really trying to talk himself, and he can say certain phrases and certain words, and it's just been an awesome thing to see happen after so many years of trying to find the right way for him to get his voice out. And that's been so encouraging.
I can imagine. So, because when we met you
Yes.
at Mary Free Bed, he was largely, not, I guess to say, non-communicative.
Right.
But I mean, he could get his point across, with noises and things, and kind of point to what he wants. But I don't recall him at that time using many or if any words.
Yes. So it was shortly after we left Mary Free Bed. I would say probably in the fall, when we got back to school, and he was using his communication device more and more. He stopped wanting to use it. He wanted to try to say words. And so, I mean, he at school, when they say the Pledge of Allegiance, he now says it. It's not clear, it's not a clear thing, but you can make out the words that he is saying, and he is getting all the syllables. in when he is talking, which is huge.
That's
Um,
impressive, actually.
Very much. So, and he has at school, he has a one-on-one aide, and he's had the same one-on-one aide since he was in kindergarten, and she has been awesome. She works so hard with him, and she has all of these goals and dreams that she works very hard for him to achieve, along with all of his IEP goals that he has for school, and getting his education in and the academics and all of his therapies. And it's just been wonderful to see the growth in him. So with that, let's see. I mean, our everyday life, I mean, he is pretty much completely dependent on my husband and I. Um, he can gesture to things that he wants or needs, or if he's in his wheelchair, he'll wheel up to him and get him and do stuff. But for the most part, I mean, it's us getting him out of bed every day, getting him cleaned and dressed every day, uh, and everything like that. Moving him from vehicle to vehicle, helping him get into his wheelchair. He can't independently get himself from his bed to his wheelchair. He needs help doing that, from his wheelchair to his walker. As long as you're there kind of helping and guiding him, he can do it. But um, it's just, stuff like that. When we're eating, um, certain foods he can eat independently on himself with himself. Other foods he needs help to eat, but he's able to eat anything and everything, which is good. Um, but I mean, this is our life, and I know no different.
Well, sure. Yeah,
um,
you've become
you,
accustomed to it. It's your normal.
yes, it's my normal.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
So, so
but
you talked about this being your everyday, but let's talk about your everyday.
okay.
So you get them up in the morning, and just kind of run us through what's a typical day in the Stewart household with Hunter.
So we get up in the morning. I help him get into the bathroom. We get, cleaned up for the day. He helps me dress himself. He can help me put on his shirt and pull up his shorts and stuff. But, it's pretty much me doing it. We eat breakfast, depending on what, I make for breakfast. It's either me helping him eat it, or some of the times he can eat it, pick it up and eat it himself. He can use silverware. Forks are easier to use than spoons, so I usually always try to make stuff that he can use a fork with, um,
Okay.
on his own, so I'm not there as much having to do it. We do therapy every day, whether it's him going to therapy, outpatient therapy, or him and I doing stuff at home, where we do lots of stretching, um, and standing and walking, working on being on all fours, trying to work on crawling, uh, just stuff like that. Do, he likes to draw and color, and so I'll get out stuff for him to draw and color, because that's something that he can do independently on his own. Whether
Excellent.
he's sitting at the table, or or I sit him on the floor so he can stretch a little bit more as he's doing it. Um, you know, Same thing for lunch and for dinner. I try to make things that are easier for him to eat on his own. Um, we like to go for bike rides. He has his own bike, which I'm sure you remember him riding around.
I do. Yes.
Yes. So we'll go on his bike. My daughter will ride her bike, and I'll help him, with his. We go on, or we'll go on family bike rides, and he has a special seat that's hooked up to my husband's bike, and so then we can go for longer bike rides.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. Uh, we, and then we'll hang out at night and just, do fun family things. He likes anything that is fast and always moving. He loves. So, like our ATV side by side, he loves going riding on that. He loves going boating. Um, we go boating all the time, and he loves to be in there. So we just try to do things that we would do on a normal basis, whether we had a handicapped child or not, and he comes along with us.
Excellent.
So
Okay. So for you personally, as a mom, so you said you knew that this was an issue while you were pregnant with him, correct?
correct. Yep.
So how did you focus on moving forward during that time?
Well, after the initial blow of knowing that I was not going to give birth to a normal, quote unquote, healthy baby, and moving past that, I mean, I've always said, and I've always had the mindset that God will only give you what you can handle. So obviously, there's days that I feel like I can't handle as much, but I just always look at just taking it day by day and moving forward, and just treating every day as a gift. And I don't know, that's always kind of been my mindset, that I can handle, I guess, whatever's thrown at me, and if I can't, I just have to stop and throw my hands up in the air and say, wait a minute. And,
Yeah.
but so I don't know. It's just always been
It's what you do.
That's what I do.
Okay.
I went to school to be a special ed teacher. So I mean, I was doing stuff with kids even before I ever had Hunter. And so I guess it's just always been in my mind and in my forefront to put him first, and whatever his needs are and everything.
So see, now I knew that you were a teacher, but I didn't know that you were a special education teacher. So
Yes.
so you're able to put some of those things in practice in your home life as well, then.
Yes. So I'm not I'm not a special ed teacher. I mean, I still have the degree.
Okay.
But I don't teach special ed anymore right now. But
Okay.
having that degree,
Oh, okay.
has always helped me to make sure that I know and make sure that Hunter has everything that he needs. And when we go to his school meetings and everything, it just, having that, I know that things are being followed correctly, and I always make sure that he is, like I said, everything is being met that needs to be met for him.
Okay.
And it's helpful to know to be on both sides of that fence. I'm on the teacher side and the parent side. So
yeah, you have an understanding both ways. Yeah, that's
I
excellent.
do. Yep.
Okay. So now you have how many other children?
We have a 7-year-old daughter.
Okay. All right. I knew there was at least one more. So
Yep.
what was your mindset when because obviously having a special needs child takes a lot of your time and effort and energy.
Yes.
So what was your mindset going into the second pregnancy? Was
Well,
there concern,
so
worry?
there's about a 5-year age difference between the two of them. And part of that was because they had told me that my risk of stuff happening again was very high. And so we took a while to decide if we wanted to ever have any more kids, because, the chances of having another child with some sort of disability along the same lines as Hunter was greater. And that kind of freaked us out a little bit.
Understandably.
And so we did take a while, and then we decided that we were going to have another child, and whatever happened. And she was born, and she was a healthy baby. The only thing, actually, she was born with what was called macrocephaly. So she actually did have fluid also, but hers was between her brain and her skull that, as of the age of 2, went away on its own.
Oh, okay.
But everything else, I mean, she was developmentally right on where she was supposed to be and everything else. So, I mean, she's grown up to just be perfectly, quote unquote, normal. and healthy and fine and great. But they did have to watch her when she was a baby up until about 2.5 years old. They had to keep an eye on her and everything as
Okay.
well. But so again, that kind of freaked us out a little bit. And so after she was born, we decided that, we have one boy, one girl, and we were going to be done because we wanted to make sure that Hunter always has, the ability to have anything and everything that he may ever need.
Sure. I think
So,
that's a safe reasoning.
yep. I mean, and our daughter is very outgoing. She dances. She dances competitively. So I mean, we don't let her, we don't let opportunities stop for her either. We make sure
Awesome.
that she gets to do stuff as well. Even though sometimes there's things that we might not be able to do as a whole family because of Hunter.
Okay.
And the limitations that we have. But, we try very hard to make sure that, she is able to have all the opportunities as well. So
what would you say is your biggest challenge with a special needs child? What's the biggest thing that you face, or that Hunter faces even during this with all of this?
I would say probably the mobility piece of it for me is like the hardest struggle. Always trying to make sure to get him in and out of places easily. Always having to make sure that I take the extra time that I know it's going to take me a little bit longer to go from place to place with him, getting him in and out of our vehicles, in and out of stores and stuff always just takes a little bit longer. That and being able to communicate with him fully are probably the two biggest challenges that we have, because he comprehends everything. He knows exactly what's going on everywhere all the time. But for him to just be able to communicate it out is also another big challenge that we have.
Okay. So when there's now, does this require you guys to have specialized vehicles or anything along those lines?
Not yet. We have been pretty fortunate because he is a smaller, he's tall, he's growing taller, but for the most part, he is still a pretty petite child, even at 12. And so we've been pretty lucky that we don't have to have any special vehicles or anything done to our vehicles, which actually is kind of funny because I was just talking to my insurance about it today on
Oh, wow.
what are things like down the road, what will things look like, and what are some of our options that we can have available to us. So because we're starting to get there.
Okay.
I was just looking at different car seats yesterday, special needs car seats. Like, what are my options to get him in and out of the vehicle easier?
Sure.
And stuff. And so, yes, that is where we are at now in our life with him, is we need to start looking at some of those things to make it easier on him and on us to get him to move around.
Okay.
So that's kind of funny because, yeah, that's kind of been my conversations the last couple of days.
Hey, timing is everything.
It is, as it is.
So as far as the communication is concerned, now you said you were using an app and he's trying to move past that, but what is the biggest part of that struggle, other than, obviously communicating fully, the expression of ideas and things along those lines, but
Right.
where do you notice that Hunter has a struggle with it? Not just in the fact that he can't communicate, but does, and maybe this isn't your experience, and I don't mean to insinuate that it is, but a couple of people that I know who have nonverbal children and they're working towards this, there's a struggle, and there's sometimes leads to some anger issues because they can't communicate or get their thoughts out as fully as they may like. Is that something that Hunter struggles with?
There are times, yes. There are times that I can tell when he's trying to get something across, and you can see him getting upset, whether he starts to like kind of hit almost either myself or somebody else, or he'll get upset to the point where he kind of like cries a little bit or will
Okay.
scream. And and then you feel horrible as a parent because you know that there's something there, but you don't know what it is. And and sometimes at those points he gets so upset that he won't even use, even if we try to get the communication device to say, like, are you hurt, are you, something wrong, he's to the point where he doesn't even want to tell us using that. And so then it's a guessing game, and that
Sure.
gets frustrating. um, and
So
the
how
other
do
part
go? No,
oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Please. No, please go
Oh,
ahead.
and the other one is using the bathroom. Like he is functionable enough to use the bathroom, but he doesn't always tell me I have to go to the bathroom. And he can't get up and go there by himself when he feels, when he has to go. So that's another, you try to stay on a schedule, and
Okay.
and always have that device right there by him so he can hit bathroom, but sometimes he doesn't do that either. And so that's another one that's always been a struggle as well, is, to let him be, as functional as possible using the bathroom.
Sure. So how do you overcome that? How do you move forward with that?
We, sit down, my husband and I, and we talk about, what could we do different? Uh, what can we do to help so that he doesn't get frustrated? And sometimes, again, the biggest thing is really just paying attention to Hunter and what is going on in the surroundings. And sometimes, by just seeing what's going on um, around him, we can figure out what is making him upset or what he's wanting. And so, again, it's just really knowing everything that's going on with Hunter and the surrounding area that we are in. And so it's always having to be, you know, aware and focused, and every day looking at the whole picture, if you say.
Okay. So being alert to what's going on and
Yep. I mean,
certain
always
things,
being,
triggers perhaps.
yes. So, when we're in a bigger crowd or whatever, we know that those noises bother him and get him, going. And so always making sure that we have, like earmuffs. He like just to kind of muffle the sounds of things. And so always
Okay.
making sure that we have those on us, so that it helps, relax him a little bit more. Um, and just, and we have a very good family and friends network that also know Hunter very well and know, things that might bother him or will set him off, or and ways to help him. And and that's awesome to be able to have such a good group of people
Oh, that's
that,
great.
yes, that always look out for his best interest.
Oh, that's great.
So
So your support group is very in tune with your child and what's going on with him, and
very much so. Yes.
that's excellent.
Yes.
Okay. So if there was one thing that you guys could say that you wish that people knew or understood about either Hunter or your situation, what would you say that thing or group of things is?
Um, that, Hunter is a very loving, affectionate little boy, and he loves to give affection. He loves to hug. He loves to say hi. He's a very outgoing kid, and I guess sometimes when we're out in public, he just wants to say hi to everybody, and he loves to smile at everybody. And to just always be, for people to acknowledge that. Because some people do. I mean, there are some people that, they hear him and they're like, hi, buddy, how are you? And other people will just turn and look and just keep walking. And he just kind of will look at me like, hey. And I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy, but uh, just knowing that, they like, especially Hunter, but, the kids like to be acknowledged. Um, and
Sure.
so when he's saying hi or he's waving at you, talk to him. He will answer. If you ask him how he's doing, he'll tell you good. Um, or he'll, you know, give you a back rub, or he'll just want a hug. And he loves it. He loves it when people acknowledge when he tries to talk to you.
Oh, that's okay. That's cool. I miss
Yeah.
fist bumps.
Yes. Oh yes, he loves his fist bumps and his high fives and everything. And that's the thing, is he's such a social kid, and you can tell that when somebody doesn't acknowledge when he says hi or is trying to get their attention, that it hurts him. And then that turns and hurts me, because it's like, oh,
Oh, that's a part
my
of you.
kid's trying, right, and he's trying so hard to
Sure.
be out there and everything.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. That's actually one of my better memories of him, is that um, he was so outgoing, and, and I knew he was there for some rehab, of course. That's what Mary Free
Yep.
Bed is. But, every time down the hallway, I barely turned the corner, he would start yelling.
Oh yeah.
So I had to come give him his fist bump. And once he would do that, he was, big smiles, and
Oh
he was
yeah.
happy. And so, yeah, no, he's a cool little guy.
Yes.
So, um, all right. So yeah. So just, basically acknowledge him.
Yes. Just
Acknowledge.
acknowledge him. He just wants you to say hi back. And he loves it. He loves it if somebody says hi back or goes to give him a fist bump or a high five. I mean, that makes his day so much.
Yeah.
And
So it's a basic human emotion.
it
Just
is. Yep.
acknowledge me, treat me as human, and let's move forward.
Yep. And that's exactly what he loves. So
Okay.
that, and anything, like I said, anything that is fast, is speed, is, he is a full-fledged active kid.
Little
Um,
speed demon, huh?
oh, he is. He's gone water skiing. He goes water skiing with Mary Freebed. He absolutely
Oh,
loves
that's
it.
awesome.
We go downhill snow skiing every year, whether it's in Grand Rapids or out in Colorado. And
Okay.
he loves it. Anything that he can do that is going fast, is, you know, has thrill with it, he's all about it.
I think one of the happiest things for me in hearing you talk now, but having met you at Mary Free Bed, and on being friends on social media, one of the things I think I appreciate the most is that you talked about this earlier, is the inclusion. You guys have Hunter do everything with you, and I think that's
Yeah.
an awesome example. So that a Hunter has the opportunity, as you put it, to be the quote unquote normal child, as normal as his circumstances will allow. And I think that's fantastic. So, kudos to you guys for giving him those opportunities to do so.
Yes, when he was born, that was one of the things that one of the many doctors that we worked with when he was born, was one of them said, treat him like you would treat any child. The more you do with him and the more you act like he is a normal, healthy child, the better he will be. And that has always been in the front of my husband's and my mind. And that is what we truly try to do.
Yeah, it shows.
Yep. So
it shows. Well, that's good. So what are some goals that you have set forth for not just your family in handling the situation, but you said there were some goals that the teacher was working with Hunter. So what are some of those goals that you guys set to try and help him move forward with things?
One of the biggest goals that we have is for him to be able to communicate on his own and be able to fully understand uh, what he wants. And the other one is for him to independently walk and walk across the stage when he graduates high school, which, I mean, that's 7 years away. So,
Okay.
but that is one of the biggest goals, especially that his one-on-one aide she's like, I want to see him walk across that graduation stage independently on
That'd
his
be
own
awesome.
and get that diploma. Yes.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Um,
Okay. So you said there was the app that's used to help
Yep.
him communicate now. For those of us who don't know what it is, and some of our listeners who may need an app like that, what is it called, and
It's
where can
called
they
Core.
find it?
It's Core Plus is the name of it. It's only for Apple products, which was really hard for me because my husband and I are not Apple people. So I had to go and purchase an iPad because it was an app that therapy started using, the speech therapist started using with him, and it was just showing great progress. So it's called Core Plus. I'm sorry, Snap Core Plus.
Snap Core Plus. Okay.
Snap Core Plus. And you can go in and you can change it so it's very customized to you and your needs, with the different words and pictures. You can upload your own pictures to it. It does come with some standard, just different like communication phrases and words and stuff, but
Sure.
it's great. I mean, and it has multiple pages, and so teaching him how to move from page to page within it on what he needs has been really good also. You can type sentences and it will read sentences for you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a very good app. We found it about 2 years ago. And so for him to be able to really use it, and since using it, like I said, he's been wanting to use his own words more, which has ultimately been the main goal.
I want to say that's probably the goal of the app is to,
Yeah,
not only create communication, but then hopefully encourage them to use their own form of
right.
communication separate from the app. So that's cool. All right. So that's available on Apple only then.
Yes, I know. That was my, but
You had to cross enemy lines, huh?
I did, but it was okay. It's okay. Like I said, if it's gonna help him and it's gonna get what we need out, whatever he needs is what, we'll make sure he has.
Well, that's a parent's job. We give them whatever they
It
need,
is.
right?
Yep.
Yep. So, no, that's good. Well, I'm glad to hear that there's something along those lines that can help him navigate through those and help him. So, is there anything else that you want to share about this that you think is important for people to know?
Um, I guess just
Or a misconception maybe that some have, or a feeling that some have, or that you want to, kind of help people understand?
that maybe a misconception is that he and Hunter and not all special needs kids are, you know, not all there. I guess some people want to think and say sometimes, because he is. He is
Oh, just
completely,
discrediting him for.
yes, you know, up there in his little mind, he is completely aware of exactly what is going on. And, and you can tell that sometimes his feelings do get hurt because people might not think that he necessarily knows exactly what's going on.
Sure.
And so don't always just take what you see on the outside as to what's exactly going on the inside.
Sure. So, yeah, he's been sold short just because they've assumed.
Right.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
but not everybody. I mean, there are,
Sure.
But
Okay.
you can see it happening from time to time.
I'm sure. So, okay. So another question I like to ask my guests, and I ask everybody this, um, and so not to take your situation and move it down to one sentence or phrase, but if you look back over the entirety of your guys' situation with Hunter and everything he's dealt with, and that you guys have had to learn over time, what is the biggest or your shining star, your biggest thing that you've learned from all of this?
That everything is a miracle, and to just take every day, day by day, and shine and put light on the little things, the little accomplishments that happen, because those are huge in the long run.
Okay, that's good. All right, so yeah, so you guys, he's 12 years old. You guys have been rocking this for 12 years. I don't want to ever say that, people who are doing as well as you guys are with the situation. Some people say, we've been dealing with this struggle for 12 years. And I think for some folks, it truly is a struggle. And I'm not saying that it's not a
Yes.
struggle for you guys, but you guys, whether it's a struggle for you guys or not, it's really hard to tell, because you guys seem to be handling it so well from the outside looking in.
Right.
But I think a lot of it's mindset, and I think you guys have a very positive and forward-thinking mindset with this.
And it is your mind. It is completely your mindset. So, and that's what my husband and I truly feel. And so that's what we try. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do have my days.
Oh,
and
sure.
I have my days where I want to sit in my room and I just want to cry. But I'm like, nope, I can't do that.
Oh, well.
And so.
Okay. Well, I thank you for coming on and talking with us today. We're always excited to be able to talk to people who are not only dealing with a situation, but they're successfully dealing with a situation. And in my eyes, and from what I see, I think you guys are successfully dealing with the situation. You got a happy young man there who seems to,
yes.
It's obvious that he's clearly loved and well taken care of, so, any parting advice for our listeners?
I don't know. I'm not. Just every day, just take it as a gift, and look for the little things that happen.
Okay. Oh, little things can be big things.
They are. Little things can be big things.
Yeah, that was a piece of advice I was given a long time ago. Always look for the little things, because little things can be big things. So,
exactly.
Okay. Well, Kristi, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. And I think that will conclude us for today. Thank you for being part of Focused on Forward.
Yes, thank you.
Well, that concludes another episode of Focused on Forward. To be a guest of Focused on Forward, you can reach us through Twitter at podcastfof, through our Facebook page named Focused on Forward, or through email focusedonforward@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing each and every one of your stories that has yet to be told. So until then, be safe, be kind, and be loving to one another as you stay focused on forward.